Is it straight for a man to date a transgender woman? Lucy, you said yes. Let's see. Elle, you said yes. And that's it. Okay. Perhaps this relates to the previous one. So why is it straight for a man to date a transgender woman?
Because they're a woman.
Okay. What is a woman?
Presenting female.
Going around the table on this, I guess. What is a woman?
A woman is born a woman. I don't know. Cisgendered woman. Cisgendered woman. I don't know.
Presents as woman.
A human female.
Someone with a vagina.
Presents as a woman.
A female that can procreate, create life.
Sure.
Same as she said.
Okay. Is a transgender... I'm just going to go ahead. I don't actually believe this, but just for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to go ahead and grant that a transgender woman is a woman. Is a transgender woman female? Lucy, starting with you.
I guess biologically, no. But if it's all in the brain, which is what's controlling these meat sacks, then I feel like yes.
Meat sacks.
That's what our bodies are, dude. We're all just noggin. We're all just noggin. We just happen to be given the avatar that we're given. If you believe, like, I don't know. If God doesn't make mistakes, then why would trans people even exist in the first place? Like if they weren't supposed to be.
I'm not making a religious argument. I'm making a secular argument.
Okay, then I'm just gonna shut up.
Okay, so is a transgender woman female?
I said not biologically, but mentally, yes.
You can't mentally change your sex.
They're born female even if they're born in the wrong body.
So
wait, hold on.
The soul fairy stuffing the wrong souls in the wrong bodies.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so
I can't even begin to explain what that experience is like because I am not trans.
Well,
how do you know Brian's not trans?
Because Brian isn't trans. Because Brian hasn't been trans.
You didn't ask me my pronouns.
No, come to think of it, you didn't ask me my pronouns.
You just assumed everybody's gender.
Non-disclosing prior to carnal knowledge is grape.
You could actually make an argument for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It could technically be essay, but anyways, so I guess going around the table, is a transgender woman female?
Biologically, no. But I do think a trans woman is a woman.
Biologically.
Really?
Hold on. I just granted it. Just to.
All right.
Exact same stance as her on that.
Okay. So
biologically, yeah. Biologically, no. Mentally, yeah.
So not female. So
yes.
her stance. Mentally, you can be female. What's the difference between woman and female?
The sex you're born with versus the sex that you present as.
Okay, but like, how would you mentally be female? I don't understand.
Well, if you believe, like the way that you were talking about earlier about how like women and men have different wants and different beliefs and different like ways of thinking and different priorities. If someone who is born biologically male thinks like a woman, then they are a woman. And if they want to be presenting as a woman.
What does that mean to think like a woman? Like, how can you ever know?
Because they enjoy expressing themselves as a woman.
So they could be feminine, but how?
It's different though. Wanting to be perceived as a woman, wanting to be seen that way.
What does it mean to think as a woman versus think as a man? Like, can you actually articulate what that even means?
Well, I don't know what it's like to think as a man. I mean, I know that I've wanted to spend a day in a man's shoes. I know that I've definitely questioned that before, but I don't believe that I'm trans. Okay. And some people have a really strong belief of that.
Can a transgender woman be female?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so going to you, and you two were the ones who said that it's straight for a man to date a transgender woman. How would it be straight?
If a straight man would be okay with the fact that they are trans, which means that they're not transphobic, then yes, it's straight. If they are not okay with it, and if they don't want to describe it as straight, then that's fine for them.
Wait, so someone won't have sex with a trans person, they're transphobic?
No.
I thought you said they were. Sorry, I
actually heard that the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, so, okay.
If you don't believe that a trans woman is a woman, then you are transphobic. So if you don't believe that dating a woman who is trans
what if I don't believe it's
is straight, then that's transphobic.
Wait, so hold on.
If you don't believe in Christianity, you're Christophobic.
Sure. But I believe in Christianity to an extent.
Christophobe. Stop oppressing me, Christophobe. Stop it. You're an oppressor. How does that make you feel to oppress Christians like this?
It feels great.
Christophobia.
I got a lot to get through, so...
gotta move on.
Okay, so straight. would you agree, short form slang for heterosexual?
Yes.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So ignoring gender, because we're talking about sex here, and mind you, heterosexuality, homosexuality, this points to the sex that you're attracted to, not the gender. This is the definition. We could look it up. Sexual preference, etc. So a male and a male engaging in sex is
Gay.
okay.
Right.
A male and a female engaging in sex is
Straight.
okay. So a male with a transgender woman who's a male, that would then be
Straight.
how would that
because
be?
they're trans, because they made the transition.
But it points to their sex. You did agree that a transgender woman is male, correct?
No, that's not what I said.
No,
I said biologically
yes,
they were born one way, but
yes,
they changed.
Biologically, yeah. Two males having sex is not straight.
Okay.
Whether-
I mean, I guess you could call it a queer relationship then.
No, but you can't
Right.
call it straight.
Okay, sure. You can't call it straight, but maybe you'd call it queer. It wouldn't be,
Sure, fine, I'll
and it wouldn't be
grant that,
inherently homosexual.
But it can't be straight.
I mean, I've definitely seen straight people date
They're
gay
not
people.
straight. You
Well,
said
then
what?
that's your
You're doing,
definition.
like reverse. So like, to my understanding, you're like, okay, so 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 + 1 plus this number, like this is how my brain
Would
is looking
equal
at
1
it.
+ 1 + 1 plus
So
whatever
you're
those other numbers are, and
because
then it would
you're
equal
just
that
saying,
ultimate number.
Okay, you're telling her about this analogy. Gay, like a man with a man equals homosexual. A man with a woman is heterosexual. But a man with a hetero man with a transgender woman, he's gay.
Yes, he's gay.
But he likes women.
But he likes women.
Let me just
because
ask you a
she's
simple
woman.
question. Your best friend, let's assume for a second he's a man.
Okay.
He comes to you and he says, "Hey, I just sucked this really hot woman's dick." Hang on. I just want to make sure, right? He says, "I just sucked this really hot chick's dick." Now, is that guy gay?
First and foremost,
I just want to answer my question.
No.
No. Okay. So if you suck a woman's dick, you're not gay. I just want to make sure I got that right.
do you know there's like?
Can you just answer my question? No. Okay. And so your best friend comes to you. I just sucked this hot woman's dick. He's not gay?
No.
Okay.
I have a coworker who's intersex, and him and his wife are in a
Most
straight
trans people are not intersex.
You don't know any intersex person
isn't
who's a female
intersex.
has a penis? You don't know a single one?
What?
You don't know a single
I don't know what his
intersex?
genitals are, and I don't care.
Here, how about this? Really simple. Really simple. So we'll just go ahead and grant you intersex. Fine, they're straight. The 99% of the other trans people who are not intersex, then that.
See, I feel like-
are you willing to concede that would not be straight?
I feel like I have to, otherwise I'm just gonna be like, you guys are just gonna keep
No,
firing.
you don't
at
have
me.
to.
Well, I do, because I have my opinion on it, and my
What's your-
opinion
yeah,
apparently
what's-
is not right.
Yeah,
my opinion is that it's straight.
Yeah, we disagree with your opinion.
Yeah,
That's
you're-
true.
So then why can't I just have my opinion? You're not
You
gonna change my
can't-
mind.
But I don't.
Well, that's weird, though. So that is weird.
Why is that weird?
Well, if somebody says I have my opinion, you can't change my mind, but they admit that what they have is just an opinion, they're actually should be saying my mind can be changed. My
your
opinion,
mind could be changed.
Your mind can't
Why?
be changed.
Why can your opinion not be changed?
It can. I don't know what the own was there. It can.
I'm so
I'm
confused.
just because you
it's so
guys
confused.
are saying you're over here and you're talking to Lucy and you're just like, okay, well, I'm trying to instill this type of logic into your brain so you can understand
Well, there's
that.
only one type of logic.
I would disagree.
I conceded that it could
You would
possibly be
disagree
queer.
that there's multiple
but I
types of
do like
logic?
it, but it's straight.
Logic is universal. But this aside, let's assume for a second there's multiple types of logic. I just want to make sure I got this right.
I don't
And
want
this
to
is
talk about
we can just
logic.
leave it
I wanna
right here.
talk
We can
about
just leave it
I
here.
want to talk about the transgender.
We can leave it right
situation.
here. Okay? Here it is. If your friend told you he just sucked a chick's dick, he's straight. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, well
No.
then that's it.
Yes.
Then that's it.
Then that's
I was
it.
I'm
We'll
having
just
so
leave it
much
there.
fun.
I'm hungry.
Perfect.
Is it? I'm just. It doesn't even make sense. Like you guys.
I just sucked my girlfriend's. It's like what? How could you come to this conclusion?
I mean,
How?
she's fucking a guy with a 7-inch dildo.
Yeah,
like,
is that gay?
A gay guy?
But he's bi.
But he's bisexual.
They're straight. They're in a straight
So
relationship.
he fucks dudes?
I've met.
So wait, I just want to make sure this guy fucks dudes.
That doesn't make her gay because she has a boyfriend who fucks dudes.
He's fucking gay.
It makes him
But he's bisexual.
Well, that's already been established that he's bisexual.
So hang on. If you're bisexual, half of you is straight and half of you is.
But there are.
Wait. Half of you is straight and half of you is what? What makes you bi? What is the
Gay.
two? Gay. So the thing is like, yeah, the part makes him fucking gay.
Yeah, but I've
Yeah,
also,
that's the way it works.
and I'm not gonna lie here and sit here and lie. I've also been with straight men who like to get. They're
Oh,
not
God.
gay.
Oh my god.
But that's not what they're talking about.
I'm just trying to.
Have you been
but-
with straight
but
men
my
who like to
question
get by
But
dudes?
my question to you is, if a straight man who likes to be, is he considered gay because he likes to be?
Dude,
No,
can we
so-
stick on to the
So
fucking
here, I'll tell you know
otherwise-
what?
This conversation isn't getting
I'll
anywhere.
I'll just bite the bullet, right? And say that's gross, but he's still a heterosexual. He's not doing anything with a male. But now let me ask you the question in reverse, okay? If a man is getting fucked up the ass by his girlfriend's biological penis, is he gay?
Unless she got it changed.
Right.
Okay. But we'll just end it.
That conversation wore me the fuck out. I'm so sleepy now. I was having so much fun earlier too. I was laughing. We were having a good time.
We were having a really great time.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's uncomfortable for you to have to confront the fact that you literally think a dude can dudes and they're not gay.
Is it comfortable that you guys think that you can have this conversation when none of us are trans and none of us can actually speak on the conversation?
Again,
if you were trans, do you think that it would prevent me from speaking to you about this issue?
I think that I want to
had a
literally
trans person
walk
on
out the
here.
door, but I'm not going to.
Look,
I wish you'd follow.
The logic literally doesn't make any sense. Like you just
Logic. I'm
Yeah,
so
fuck
over this
logic.
conversation. Can we move on, please? Because we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah,
we're
but
just
you
we're both
do-
just getting angry.
No, well, I'm not angry. Are
Look at
you
him.
angry?
He's red as a tomato.
I'm frustrated because I'm constantly
I'm
getting
frustrated.
interrupted. Literally, you just fucking did it.
Well, you're making no sense.
You're not making any fucking sense.
Then
Can
let's
you
just
stop
agree to
fucking
disagree.
Interrupting? Stop interrupting. It's very simple. Gave you instructions before the show.
Let's just agree to disagree.
So,
Another interruption.
can you stop moving the cup, please? So, look, I don't know else how to say it. There's definitions to words. Male, female, right? You can't change your sex. Two males engaged in a romantic or sexual relationship, it's homosexual. A male and a female engaged in a romantic or sexual relationship, heterosexual. There's no getting around this.
My brain is melting.
Me too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you again?
Yeah, you did. Can you
Yeah.
stop being fucking catty
Can
about
you
it?
stop? Can you stop? We clearly are not going to change our opinions on it. You clearly are not going to change your opinion. Can we just move on to a different topic?
Here, I'll tell you why it's upsetting. Because in the same way, you would be very upset at me if there was like, do you think gay conversion therapy is wrong?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're trying to co-opt my
I don't want to change your
Can
opinion. I want you to
shut the
stop
fuck
talking
up?
about it.
You got to stop interrupting. Holy shit. I don't even like go on long diatribes. I literally make my points in a few sentences. Just let me fucking get a word out.
I'm listening.
You are dictating to me what is heterosexuality by saying that, no, Brian, this is what is within the purview of heterosexuality. In the same way that you would find it deeply offensive for us to say that gay people don't actually exist, you're just confused. I'm not confused about my sexuality. You're dictating to me, essentially, that I am somehow, if I didn't date a transgender woman, that would somehow make me what?
Well, that's your preference.
Would he be transphobic? If he only did it because he didn't want to date a trans person.
If he doesn't believe that trans people or trans women are women, then that is transphobic. If he chooses not to date them, that is not transphobic. That is just a preference.
Why is it transphobic to think that transgender women are not women? Why would that be
Because you're
transphobic?
disregarding their existence. You think that they're men.
Actually,
Okay.
I would just bite the bullet. You're right. I disregard their existence.
Okay, so then we're not going to get anywhere.
But I
with
don't
this.
believe that.
Does anybody
that's-
else want to speak? Because I'm really tired of
But
talking.
what do you do about the fact that I don't think it's a phobia? That instead, I just objectively, it's like saying that I have a phobia against Santa Claus because I don't believe Santa Claus exists. Am I Santa Claus phobic? That's the same argument you're making.
Sure.